Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, we have to check in with our old friends at PayPal and their bill pay service to see what they're up to. We have Bank of America partnering with Starbucks, trying to be a little bit more competitive, which is always nice. Of course, we have a brand new Centurion Lounge in Atlanta to take a look at, the largest Centurion Lounge to date. And then, of course, we will close with some more American Express family language rules, this time on another platinum product, the Morgan Stanley card. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, this one is more of an interesting story, but there are a lot of folks out there who, in this community at least, who like to take advantage of PayPal bill pay. So if you're unfamiliar, I know we've done a whole video on the second channel, Run on the Bank, about it, but PayPal bill pay, as the name suggests, is a way to pay various bills through PayPal. Now, you can do utilities, you can do, I think, cell phones are through there. There's a lot of options. Plus, you can also pay, or could have paid, credit card bills through there. So a lot of folks like to do a cashback debit card play. 1% cards to pay off, your credit card bill, things like that. So you had a lot of options. I've used it myself plenty of times. Well, weirdly enough, PayPal actually went through and they removed a lot of the payees from your PayPal bill pay setup. So if you go in there and check, and I checked, and I just had cards in there. I didn't have any other like utilities or things like that. But all my Chase cards were removed. I think I had some Citi cards in there as well. The only card left is my US Bank Cash Plus card, weirdly enough. And this did happen to a lot of other people. The Good Doctor posted this update about it. So you definitely want to go in and check your payee setup. Now, interestingly enough, this is just a rumor I heard through the grapevine from another person who I talked to a lot, who's saying the rumor is that Chase was unhappy with this setup, having their credit cards paid through PayPal bill pay and using their cards through bill pay and things like that. So it's possible, again, rumor that Chase had reached out and said, hey, you guys got to shut this down, and that's why we saw the silent update that removed a lot of Chase cards. Again, most of my cards in there were Chase. There were some Freedoms. There were some Ink cards as well. So, obviously we can't confirm it because we're not going to talk to Chase, and Chase isn't going to probably say anything about it to bring more attention to it, but at least it does fit. And this other person I was talking to, who is a channel member, we converse a lot, so his opinion or his other sources do carry, some weight. I definitely don't think he's making it up. He had the same experience. His Chase cards are gone. His other ones are still in there. So that is interesting because normally Chase doesn't seem to care about these things if it is true. And again, it's a little bit analogous to plastic, where eventually the issuers got mad. They reached out, leaned on the payment networks to eventually kind of shut it down through plastic. That was just for debt payment. So I don't know if that's going to be the start, it's going to go that far here, but again, it is interesting to see and talk about. So I hope it doesn't go anywhere, because it is a good tool to have in your back pocket. Now, with that, we're going to move on to another good tool, now a new tool, I should say, which is Bank of America being a little bit more competitive. This time, they have a partnership with Starbucks. No, it's not a new credit card, but for you coffee drinkers out there, we'll put it on screen for you. But here's what you're getting with your Bank of America card, and this works for debit cards as well, too, with them. So you're going to get 2% cash back. Now, I believe this is 2% cash back on top of like the regular card benefits. I believe it is stackable. That's what the doctor had written in their post. The Bank of America post doesn't explicitly say that at the time of taping, but I think it's in the FAQ. And you're also going to get one bonus star per $2. So the bonus star thing, that's like a Starbucks reward program. I don't really drink coffee. I don't care for it. It always smells so good, though. I'm just not a fan. But people tell me I just haven't sat around and tried to mix in all the creams and sugars. But at that point, are you even drinking coffee anymore? Who's really to say? But there are some people who take their coffee seriously. So overall, I think this is a really good promotion because Starbucks is very popular, and they even extend it to debit cards. And obviously, if you watch this, you probably have a credit card. But for whatever reason, if you haven't gotten a Bank of America credit card, I do know we have a promotional offer on profitable.content.com for a $200 Bank of America checking bonus. So that would get you $200 if you did that, plus a debit card to use until you can get your hands on a credit card. But overall, every so often, Bank of America does these things just to remind us they still exist. Of course, I am a fan of BofA with the Platinum Honors deal. So I wouldn't necessarily get excited here and think, the Starbucks card is coming to Bank of America, because if it didn't work with Chase, then I don't know that's going to work with anyone, because I feel like Chase does the best job of non-travel co-branded cards. My opinion on the Amazon, the Instacart, and the DoorDash. Whether you like the services or not, obviously up to you, but the cards themselves pretty good for the specific services. But it would be cool to see them try again with another partner, but I can't imagine. The rewards were not very good on the Chase version of the card. I think there were 2 versions of it over time, and I can't imagine they're going to be better if Bank of America did one, so it leads me to believe it was probably Starbucks was the issue and not Chase. I mean, they even wanted an annual fee on that card, which is crazy, so wouldn't get carried away, but at least the Bank of America likes to show us they're alive, and that's a good thing. So if you don't want to drink fancy coffee, but you don't want to pay for it, well, you might go to a Centurion Lounge. Of course, a debit card won't do you any good there. You're going to need, of course, a Centurion card, a Platinum card, or the Delta Reserve card. But if you find yourself in Atlanta, which is a hub of Delta, well, we now have a brand new Centurion Lounge to take a look at. This one is the largest Centurion Lounge. Previously, that belonged to JFK, which I also think was revamped a while back, but we're stealing this from OMAT 1 mile at a time, as we always do. They get invited out there. I never get invited anywhere, which, given my track record of things I say about Amex, I wouldn't invite me either if I was them. But again, on screen for you, remember to check out OMAT's post about it, because, again, they did the heavy lifting, so credit where credit is due, but you've got some of the pictures. So again, this one is about, I think, 26,000 square feet. Again, the previous title holder was about 15,000 square feet in JFK. Now you've got your standard stuff, your custom restaurants and hand-selected chefs and things like that. It's not a McDonald's, basically, is what they want you to know, not a Coney Island. You do have 3 outdoor terraces, which OMAT put 3 exclamation points behind. 3 is a lot. Again, it's a big lounge, with 3 is a lot there. Of course, they have all the amenities you would think. It's a play on like a forest, lounge in the forest, or city in the forest, I think. That's why you have that massive tree. There's a huge custom light sculpture there, or light installation. And overall, again, I mean, it does look really nice. You know the rule here, of course, everything looks nice when it's brand new, but again, given that it's a hub of Deltas, and I think there are actually almost 10 Sky Clubs in there, 9-10 Sky Clubs. They have an Admirals Club, they have United, and they have a Priority Pass lounge as well. So overall, I mean, again, you get the gist of it. Looks pretty nice. At least for the Centurion Lounge, you can still get in with, as we said, the Platinums and the Delta Reserve. Of course, if you want guests, remember they put that ridiculous spend requirement. However, if you're looking to get in, the Business Platinum card is running like a targeted 200,000 MR point offer with 15,000 in spend. It would shock you to know, but I myself picked up the Business Platinum. We'll talk about it more in the What's in Your Wallet video, I'm sure, coming down the road for Q2, but for the Caesars out there in the world who like to troll me, yes, I have yet another Amex card, but, it's a lot of, because money, really, because money. So, all that to say, there is a link going around for a 200,000 point offer. I read through the terms. I wasn't comfortable. I don't think I'm yet comfortable to make a dedicated video on the second channel, Run on the Bank, where we talk about strictly promotions, again, for cards and bank accounts. So I probably won't do it because, again, I've seen some people go through it and it doesn't even let them actually get to the 200,000 point offer. I found mine in my Amex app under my Blue Business Cash, weirdly enough, even though I have the Business Gold, but it didn't show up under there. You just check under your offer section. It was right there. I think there are a lot of people getting targeted, of course, to incognitos and stuff. You can try that. So that one's definitely worth picking up. And of course, it'll get you to this lounge as well. I don't have a link for it. I mean, I think my link is the standard 120, so you definitely want to try for the 200. The highest I've ever seen is 250, I think, but that was with 30 or 50,000, something crazy in spend. So there is that. But, if you need a Platinum card, well, then you might want to stick to the Business Platinum, because it's definitely not going to be the Morgan Stanley or the other ones after this, because, again, American Express is expanding their restrictive family language, I believe that's what folks are calling it now, to the Morgan Stanley Platinum. So, again, we've talked about this the last few weeks. Last week it was the green card, but this is the language that, for the green, gold, Platinums and the Delta cards, it dictates that you can't, backslide, as I've said. You can't go reserve, then in blue, then Platinum, right, for Deltas. For the Platinum cards, the vanilla Platinum cards, it really just says they're now all considered the same product family as were before. They were all individual products. So you're very familiar with the rule set, but you've got it on screen for you in case you forgot. Again, for the Morgan Stanley, if you have or have had this card, the Platinum card from American Express exclusively for Charles Schwab, or previous versions of these cards, you may not be eligible. And the previous versions would be, there was an Ameriprise version at one point before I think Amex officially spun off and got rid of Ameriprise. There was also a Mercedes-Benz one. There's probably been a few others as well, but those are the few that come to mind. So any versions of those, I don't really know how far back they're going. I mean, on one hand, this is kind of where pop-up jail is like a little bit helpful. Because I mean, if you had one a long, long time ago, like I don't know, 5-7 years ago, it'd probably be worth keying in your info just to see what happens if they actually block you or not. Because again, myself, it's weird that they offered me the Business Platinum 200. When they just gave me the Business Gold at 150, and then I do have the Blue Business Cash. I do put spend on it. I do put money in that checking account, but I would have guessed pop-up jail for sure. So I do think we're also seeing Amex kind of leaning towards preferring business customers, just trying to bolster their business side of the house, which is also weird because we've seen Chase, hammer the ink offers as well. They've upped their business checking offer as well. So I don't know if it's maybe banks are starting to favor business customers a little bit more. I'm not really sure. It is, though the business side didn't get the family language or the restrictive language on the Delta cards or the business gold, green, platinums, any of that. So I do think it's a little bit interesting. On the personal side, again, I mean, it's annoying. I mean, the Morgan Stanley one was the most difficult to get. It wasn't hard. It was just like the least straightforward of the core card, of the core platinum card. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it does suck anytime an avenue is kind of cut off. But those offers never really got high enough to make it worth it on the offer alone. And I imagine, honestly, if you have enough money with Morgan Stanley, you have a phone number you can call and you can clear this stuff right away. So I would still guarantee that would be the case. But overall, we lose another option. I mean, my overall thoughts on this to wrap it up is I think, on one hand, yes, American Express is hypersensitive to getting taken over by people like us. But, it works. Throwing a bunch of elbows in the game works because, again, people tend not to mess with them, tend not to do a lot of the strategies that we would use with other cards and things like that. So, I guess I can't overly be mad at them. They do have the right to protect their products. And I'm just ready to get rid of this Business Platinum already, and it just came in the mail like 2 days ago. But anyways, guys, that has been the news for this week. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Because, of course, we're posting content just like this every single week. And right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that wasn't credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com. That's the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you on the homepage where we post not only the latest news stories. We have plenty of bank promotions. So, again, Bank of America. I think we have one for Amex as well. And, of course, we have credit card offers. So if you just really want into that Centurion Lounge, we have the revamped Delta Reserve. And of course, we do have the Platinum cards, but we covered those. You probably can do better on the Platinum cards. We got the Delta ones and many more for you over there. So go ahead and check that out. But anyways, that's going to do it for us. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you very soon this week.